We are back with a new video. If you're new here, my name is Whitney Lynn, and we're gonna try something new today. We are going to film a story time mukbang. So I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I really want to tell you guys this story because it is quite the story. So today I have a bunch of good food here. It's a Vietnamese spot in South Loop. They just opened up. It is an express location. We have their chicken wings, their dumplings, their chicken skin, and their beef pho. I'm like so excited. I've had them before, but they just opened up that new location. So I already know it's gonna be fire. It's called Bodega. So let's see how it is. So I got 2 beef and 2 spicy pork. So I don't know which one I have here. I got the pork. Wow, that's spicy.
I got the beef. It's fire.
So they also had this like Mountain Dew flaming hot drink. We never tried it before, right?
No, we haven't.
It's like, it looks pretty cool. So it's like, it says a blast of heat with citrus. Sounds interesting. Let's pop it open.
It's yeah, it's flaming, huh?
It's like, you guys ever like open a can of pop and then try to drink it too fast and you inhale like that fuzzy? Oh my god. It's pretty good. Oh my gosh, I love their chicken skins. Like, I absolutely love them. I feel like, I don't know what the heck they put on these things, but it's like so seasoned. Like chicken skin. I've been craving these, right? Like, I literally have been craving these.
yeah, you have. For real. These are fire.
I'm so happy right now.
I'm going in there.
Normally I would start with a soup, but like, I had to. Oh my god. Look at how crispy this is.
That good, huh?
It's so good. I think they're called crack wings on their menu.
How appropriate.
Right. You just want more and more. Okay, so this is like sweet saltiness, crunchiness, tenderness. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh. Oh my gosh. You see this? Oh, I'm doing a poor job at grabbing this soup. Okay. Okay. And some broth. Favorite part of soup is the broth for me. Like, if you can't get the broth right, like, just stop. Like, it tastes so, like, clean, you know? Like, it doesn't taste like they put, like, a bunch of, like, junk in there or something. Put some of hoisin. Like, everybody calls it something different.
I think.
How do you say it?
You got one of them. Maybe it's hoisin.
Horsin. Okay, let's try these nudes.
It's fire. It's tender.
Okay. Maybe a few more bites, then I'll get into today's story.
Taking your time.
It's like the best of all time. I could literally go there just to grab a bag of these. Like chips. Let's jump into today's story. Okay, so I'm sure you saw by the title. Today we have like a really crazy story. It's about this guy named Phil and his dog. What did I name his dog? Mimi. Phil and Mimi, okay? As some of you may know, I actually am a dog sitter, dog walker here in Chicago, and sometimes I'll post on my Instagram, so you know, if you see pictures of dogs, that's why. So let's say about a year and a half ago is when I met Phil and Mimi. He reached out to me on this app that I'm on for dog sitting, and he was like, hey, you know, would you be able to sit my dog? I have to go into the hospital for a few days and I have to stay. You know, would you be interested? And I said, of course I will, you know. So when the day came for him to actually come drop off the dog, he was like, hey, would you mind like picking her up? So I was like, okay, sure, no problem. And that's an extra charge. So of course I'm down like to go pick up the dog, you know. So I take my daughter Ezzy with me and we go into the lobby, and he comes out and he has like a really big, like the size of like a baseball on his forehead.
Damn.
Like, can you imagine?
That's crazy.
Like, it was like red, blue, black, like green. You know, like it was like all the colors that you don't want your skin to be. And it was just like sitting there, right? And you can tell he was kind of like out of it or whatever, but like, you know, he said he had to go to the hospital, so fine. Then he texts me like the day that he was supposed to get out and says that he needs more time with her, or like he needs more time in the hospital. So I said, okay, that's fine, no worries. Like, you don't have to like worry about it, just get better. Like, it's fine with me. She can stay as long as she wants. So he, you know, expressed how thankful he was that, you know, he ended up with me as a dog sitter, and he seemed very appreciative, and, you know, I was just like, great, you know, I'm doing well. So then, like, finally he tells me, I think maybe like a week after that, like, hey, I'm ready, you know, I'm fine now, I'm back home, can you bring her back home? So then I was like, sure. Maybe a few hours later, he texted me, and he was like, hey, what do you think about being her like regular dog walker? You know, I actually used to have a dog walker that lived in the building, however, she moved. And I was like, okay, sure, because I had not yet had like a dog walking like job yet. You know, it was always like sitting, boarding, whatever. So then he was like, okay, sure. So we worked out like a price, whatever, and it's, you know, during the week, multiple days out of the week. And I was really happy because, you know, that's like a steady income. And then he was like, okay, well, why don't you come over and I'll give you the key and show you around. Now, at first I was kind of like, a key, like a key to your apartment, like you're giving me a key to your apartment and I don't even know you.
That's not weird.
Right, like I was really kind of like standoffish because I'm like, I don't want no key to your apartment. Like, what? You know, so, but I also didn't know how these things work because this, again, was my first time. So I'm just trying to, like, have an open mind and just chill out, you know, like, okay, you got people on speed dial, you know, like, we're gonna try this out. So I think I took my kids with me that day. But I go upstairs and, you know, he shows me his apartment and he's very welcoming. Come on in. You don't have to take your shoes off. Here, this is where this is. Here's it. And I am very still on guard. Like, no, I'll stay over here by the door. Thank you. Right? Because I watch too much true crime. You guys watch true crime? Like, I watch way too much true crime to know that you can't, when you get comfortable, that's when stuff goes down. That's when stuff goes down, you know?
Never know. You
never know. So I was just like, Anywho, I stayed by the door, okay? And I kind of just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a really nice place, you know? Anyways, he gives me a key. And he goes, okay, so, you know, you can come around that time every day, whatever, and, like, it's fine. Like, just open the door. And just, you know, if it's locked, when you open it, just make sure you lock it on your way out. So I was like, okay, like, cool, I guess, like, sure. So then I start going religiously. He's, you know, up to date on the payments. He's very nice. I walk in every time. And for the most part, he's usually at his desk there. As soon as you open the door, you can see him at his desk. And he's sitting there typing away. And every day he'll be like, hey, Whitney, how you doing? How's it going? What's new? And if I have the kids, hey, Ezzy, how you doing? Hey, you know, same thing. Very welcoming, like, you know, there was nothing wrong.
So we still don't know why he was in the hospital last night.
No, we still don't know. Like, I don't even think he told me, but, you know, I'm not gonna ask either. But at this point, I have no idea anything about this man, except he has a really cute dog, you know. So anyways, I want to also, like, share with you, his apartment is the top floor. It is the penthouse, and I, after the fact, did some digging on the, you know, what is it called, the apartment complex. Yeah, I looked at, you know, like, the layouts, because it's, like, a really nice place, and he has the most expensive layout there. So, you know, he's doing fine in life, you know, so he has no worries, it seems like, at least on the outside. You know, everything seems good, in order. He has a maid that comes in, I guess, weekly, I'm not sure. But the apartment is always kept up. He is always kept up. You know, he's sometimes in the gym. Like, I'm just trying to show you, like, he looks like a normal, typical, like, you know, man that, yeah. So anyway, so I start going every single day, and, you know, everything is fine until, like, one day. I go into the house, or the apartment, and, you know, there's, like, stuff everywhere, like, just like empty bottles of, like, you know, alcohol. There's, like, empty, like, prescription pill bottles. Okay, sorry, my camera had died. Okay, so basically everything had took a turn for the worse when, you know, I walk in the apartment one day and he has pill bottles everywhere, you know, little, like, pints of alcohol, like, all over the place, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, I had no idea what I just walked into, if he was okay. Like, he was sitting there looking very, like, flustered, or, like, flushed is the right word, flushed. And he was just very not all there. So, you know, I was like, hey, how's it going? And he was just kind of like, hey, you know, how's it going? You know, and kind of just like, you know, and I was just like, okay, well, maybe it was like an interesting weekend or something. But yeah, I'm like thinking, like, in my mind, like, okay, so let's think about this logically right now. Around that time, it was Mother's Day. So in my mind, I was kind of thinking, like, maybe this is like a family issue, or, like, you know, maybe his mother's not with him anymore, and he just hasn't like fully, you know, processed that, you know, and maybe he has just like a lot of emotions. I'm not really sure, but I was trying to just like let it, you know, go over my head and just say, okay, you know what, it's fine. Like everybody goes through something, right? So I return Mimi, and you know, I just say, hey, you need anything, you know, I'm here, just let me know. And that was that. The next day I go into his apartment again. There was stuff everywhere. He is now sitting on the ground by his couch, and he cannot get up. I walked in and he was like literally on the ground. There's pillows everywhere, there's food everywhere, there's stuff everywhere, like everywhere. And I'm just kind of like at a loss for words, because like what are you doing down there, you know? Like what are you doing? So I walk in and I try to put Mimi's like vest on or whatever, and she's, you know, allowing me to do so, but he's sitting there trying to talk to me, and he's just like, sorry, you know, hey, like, and I'm just like, okay, like he's very intoxicated. So, you know, I just, you know, I had to act the same, you know, even though I'm kind of like shaking in my boots, you know, I have to act the same. I have to still, hey, how are you? How you doing? How's it going? And he's trying, you know, attempting to talk to me, but it just was not working. Like what he was saying in his head was not coming out like correctly. So then he tries to stand up. When he tries to stand up, he completely falls backwards into his window. We're on the penthouse, the top floor, and these windows that are downtown over here are like storm windows, you know, so they're not gonna break easily. Like it's not like, you know, maybe your house or something, you fall into your window and like that's it, kaboom, bye. No, like here it can really hold him. So it held him. But the thing is, I mean, like that's pretty scary. You know, I'm just sitting there trying to take your dog out, and like you're falling into windows, you know? So at this point, I'm like, okay, I gotta go, I'm done, so you know?
What do you think's wrong with him?
I don't know. I had no idea still, because I'm like, look, like, you had been like normal up until this point. I had no sign of nothing. I had no idea what was going on. Like, where did this come from? Like, you know, like, so again, I'm just like, yes, it has to be like a family thing, so whatever. Moving on, I returned Mimi, so I go back the next day. It was the same thing over and over and over and over and over, to where at this point, he is not in the bed. When I walk in, he is not, he was not at his computer, like any of these days. Like, knocked out, completely knocked out, passed out on his bed, like, and I'm not even like exaggerating, like literally tongue out, like eyes rolled back, like literally, like what did you do last night? You know what I mean? Like sheets all at the feet of the bed, the foot of the bed, and like, you know, he like literally like pancaked, or what is the term, starfished out, right? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, but again, I'm trying to mind my own business, you know, like I'm not trying to be all up in his like stuff, you know. But like, I also got to make sure that like I'm safe, and you know, Mimi's cool, you know. So I kind of like scoped out a little bit, just like peeped in the room, and he was like that. So I was like, okay, well, now I don't have to have this like awkward conversation with him at least. But you know, and then I kind of get her, and I'm looking around, same thing, empty pill bottles, you know, and alcohol, whatever. So I leave, bring her back. The next day when I go in, exact same thing, passed out on the bed, like exact same thing for multiple weeks, okay? So at a certain point, like I'm starting to really wonder, like, who has this much PTO? Like, how did you go from working every single day at your computer when I walk in to like just not, like, ever? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't have that much PTO. Like, do you?
It's like vacay.
I guess, but like a long, like, is it short-term disability? Like, fill me in, you know? So I have no idea what's going on, and you know, I just get more worried and more worried as the days progress. So I'd say about 3 weeks in at this point, and he decides to text me and basically apologize and try to somewhat like tell me what's happening, right? Like, oh, you know, it's been what did he say? He was like, hey, I'm sorry for how the house has been looking lately. You know, I know you saw all the bottles and all the prescription. He said that he had like a stomach issue or something like that, and like the doctor prescribed him those, but like it's so unbearable that like he can't handle it, and so he drinks to like offset it, which I don't know about you guys, but I heard that you're not supposed to like drink on, you know, heavy meds. I'm sure some craziness can happen, and it kind of looked like it did, but you know, what do I know? So that's what he said. He said he was like in so much pain, and that's the only way he can like get through it. So what am I to say once again? So I was just like, oh, no problem, you know, because again, who am I to judge what you got going on? As long as your dog is okay and you are breathing and, you know, able to,
alive.
Yeah, like live, you know, like who am I to say anything, you know? So, you know, he apologized, whatever, and then the next day he was still out of it, but he was attempting to talk to me. He started going on about, you know, I think I had talked to him about how she, you know, went number 1 and number 2, you know, it was normal dog walker stuff, like, oh, she went number 1 and number 2 today, so, because he was actually awake this time, and, you know, she's fine, she did great, oh, okay, and he replies, oh, okay, and yeah, my tires, I don't think there's air in them.
Sounds random.
I was like trying to not make a face, like, excuse me, what? what was that? And he's like, oh, I was just saying that my tires, they probably don't have air in them. Okay. okay, yeah. And I just went with it because I was like, yo, obviously, right, there's something not, yeah. So anyway, so then I left, and it went back to the same thing. Like, it literally was the same thing over and over. There was a particular day where it was really hot here in Chicago, and I realized that Mimi just needed water on our walks. And, you know, it's not like my responsibility to come up with, you know, things for her. So I texted him and I said, hey, you know, would you mind supplying me with a water bottle for Mimi, because she gets really like thirsty on our walks. And he replies with, sure, do you have like one in mind you can send me? So I'm like, sure, I actually did. It's like all over TikTok, but anyways, so I go on Amazon and I grab the link. I send him the link, and his response, I'll put it here on the screen. His response was so inappropriate. So inappropriate.
What did he say?
He was like, what is that? He's like, because to me, it looks like an adult toy. Ha ha ha. Something along those lines. And I was like, what? Excuse me, you know, because I was like thrown off. I was very like taken back. I was very like, why would I send you that? What are you talking about? And why? And even if it looks that way, why would you say that? Like, now it's just weird. Like, now it's just awkward. What do I reply to that? I mean, obviously you saw what I replied to that, but what do I reply to that? You know, like, what would you say? Like, can you guys please tell me, like, what I should have said or should have done? Because in that moment I froze and I felt very awkward. So, you know, whatever. He gets the water bottle, and at this point I'm looking at him like, you're disgusting. Like, no. So he later on texts me about something else, and he ends up apologizing about he used a specific word, about his like language that he chose or whatever. So I didn't say it's okay because it's not okay. Like, there was this one day in particular, and I'm gonna need a chicken skin for this.
Yes, I will.
The best. I'm just making a mess everywhere and I don't even care. It's so good. It's like airy, but very crunchy at the same time. And it's like really the seasoning for me. That's what gets me. Okay.
Don't mind if I do.
I was here in my kitchen and he had texted me basically like, telling me that he was going to Mexico and asking me if I could like water his plants once while he was gone. And I was like, sure, of course I can, you know? And he was like, okay, thank you so much. And then he was like talking, he started saying words in like Spanish, and he started making other comments, but he started making other comments about like just inappropriate things. There's always like women on the street that are trying to like hit on him and stuff because Mimi is so cute and he gets so many phone numbers. I don't care, you know, like, why are you telling me? But whatever. So that day when he made that comment about, I forgot what it was, but that day I was really upset, and then he, you know, said that like he was trying to speak to me in Spanish, which he's never done. And I don't know if you guys know, but I am Hispanic and he is a Caucasian, older, wealthy male, you know? So if you catch my drift, it's just like very not okay. I was like, I think I told myself like one more thing and then like that's it, you know? Or maybe like I feel like threatened in some way, you know, like while I'm there or in text, whatever, like, I don't know.
Like, keep it professional.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had been holding up to that this entire time, but not him. So, anywho, so, you know, he goes to Mexico or whatever, and I go to water his plants, and I was so happy that he wasn't there at this point because, you know, he had just made that comment. 2 weeks later, maybe 3, I had went on vacation to Thailand, and when I came back, you know, he was supposed to be back already. I remember texting him like, hey, I'm back, so I can start, you know, walking Mimi anytime, you know, like, just let me know. And he goes, great, like a whole 24 hours later, which is it's not like him. Normally he will text back within like 2 minutes, like he's somehow always on his phone. So I was like, okay, that's interesting, but like, whatever, it's cool. But then it all started to make sense. So he had texted me that him and his girlfriend are horrific, like drug users, and that blew my mind. He does not look like, I guess, what he sounds like. I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but he very much so surprised me with this comment. He said that they are horrific users, abusers, and that he was going to check into a rehab facility. Now, the medicine that I saw on the counter is not the same thing that he was talking about in this text message. Like, two different things. You got the prescription pills, and then you have what he was talking about. You can't get that from a doctor, like, at all. So, I was very taken back by this once again. And, I didn't even know what to respond. What do you say to that? He goes, can you watch Mimi for 28 days? If not, she can go to my sister's house. I was like, first of all, yes, because ka-ching. But two, I was like, what the heck do I say to this? Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, oh, you're a drug abuser. That's fine. You know, like.
Kind of stuck there.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, like that's okay, sure. And I literally think I just like went around that and was just like, sure, I can watch Mimi, no problem. When would you like me to pick her up? And I feel like that was pretty professional, you know, way to go about it, because again, like, why when I'm trying to film a video, there's like a freaking ambulance? I think that means I need a chicken skin.
Perfect time.
He had told me that he was gonna go to this rehab, and I was just kind of like, okay, that's fine. And then he continues talking, basically saying like, maybe it'll just be for 21 days. I can prepay you, you know, I know this is like a weird situation, like no worries. And because I don't know like his like I feel like I don't still know the real situation. I don't really know him at all. Like, I thought I knew him maybe a little bit, but now I really have no idea who the heck this is and like what's going on. Is he like with the mafia? Like, what's happening right now?
Right.
So I've been going to this guy's house for 1.5 years now, to date. Still, like, how am I just knowing about like his like secret lifestyle now? I'm in his house more than any other person. Like, not even the maid. I'm there like every day. I see him more than anyone in his life. And I had no idea. Says, I always get out. I always get out early. So I know that even though it's a 28-day program, it'll probably be 21 days because I always get out. So he made sure that he said that multiple times. So in my mind, you know, I'm thinking, yeah, this is a lifestyle thing. Like, this dude does this all the time. Like, how have I not seen it? Like, to be fair, I've known him for 1.5 years, but in between I do travel. I have, you know, traveled for months at a time. So like 3 months at a time, you know. So it's possible, you know, that he had been doing this or living this way and I just happen to not be around. But anyways, so, you know, he went on with saying, you know, how much would it be? My thought process of asking him to pay like up front was because like I don't really know like what is really going on. Like, are you, like, how bad of an abuser are you? Like, are you like down on money right now? You know, like, I need to make sure that my butt is covered basically. So I was like, yes, if you don't mind, I'll take your, you know, suggestion, and if you can just like pay up front. He went ahead and paid. He came back early, like he said, right? He always comes back early, and he definitely came back early, like earlier than the 21 days. So he texted me like, hey, like, I'm, you know, at my sister's house, but tomorrow can you bring her back? So I went ahead and did that, and when I did that, he literally unfolded. Like, he told me the entire story. And you guys will not believe what actually happened on his trip, to the point where he was forced to go to rehab. But we gotta cut this video short because this video is really long. So if you guys wanna know actually what happened, make sure you watch the next video. But until then, I love you guys. Bye!